anything, I just think it's about time that we thank all the moms, the grandmas, the tias, primas, the women of the valley who have brought us here and who have worked so hard to get us to where we are today. Silva, his mom, my grandma, who's my inspiration for everything. Before I left to college last year, my grandma I told her, I want you to teach me how to make tamales. Because I need to learn, so when I go, I can sell them in the East Coast. We're in the kitchen and she's teaching me how to make these tamales, and I don't know, I wanna talk to her, I wanna hear her voice before I leave, and I ask her, tell me something about yourself that I don't know. Tell me something that you've never told anyone before. And she thinks about it for a long time, and she's just there kneading the dough, and she tells me, Mijo, siempre quería ser una poeta. I always wanted to be a poet. And I mean, that took me by surprise because she had never mentioned this at any point in my life. I asked her, what happened? Why did you want to be a poet? When did you start wanting to be a poet? And she tells me that when she was growing up, she fell in love with the poems that her dad would tell her. She fell in love with the poems that she would hear her fellow migrant workers talk about while they were picking cucumbers and blueberries. And she would write her own poems, but journeying throughout America, she would lose most of these journals, so she had none left by the time I asked her about this. And I asked her, well, do you know any? Do you remember anything? I'd love to hear. And she thinks about it for a while, and she says, I wrote my last poem when I was 15 years old. By then, I had my first kid, and I stopped writing poetry. The last poem I wrote was when my mom died, and I recited it at her funeral. And my grandma recited this 3-minute poem to me from heart. And I was so moved and shaken because this old woman had been carrying this poem for 60 years and had never shared it to anyone but the people that day. And the impression that I was left with was incredibly sad because I had wished that she would have told me her poems long before. And I wish that she would have continued writing poetry even after she had her first kid, and her second, and her third, and her fourth, and her fifth. And I wish she would have wrote a poem after she stopped working in the migrant fields when she moved to the Rio Grande Valley and raised me. And I was so sad because I know that there are people in the valley who want to write their own poetry, who want to do big things. They want to start their own tech companies. They want to write a book. They want to become motivational speakers. They want to become professional athletes. They want to go out and explore and become big people so that they can go back home and tell their parents, hey, I did that. Me, the first one. And I think when we were talking about STXi, what we wanted this to be a year ago, 2 years ago, the first thing that we really wanted this to be was, you know what? We want people to come here and be whatever that they want to be. Whatever their heart wants, whatever their passions are, whatever they think they want to do, let's give it to them. I've had an amazing opportunity. I've had amazing opportunities these past 4 years to travel. I've been to Canada, to Mexico, to China. And the things that I've seen, every time that I would come back to the valley, when my plane would land in McAllen, the first thing I would think about is, we deserve all of that too. Everything that I saw over there, everything that I saw in New York, when I saw at TED in Vancouver, all of that, we deserve it too. Everyone here in the valley, everyone that goes to our schools, your neighbors, your cousins, your brothers and your sisters, because we've worked really hard to be here. Our parents have worked really hard to be here. I am so grateful for our staff, the students who have taken this on by themselves. Silva being the only adult, me being the second adult just this last year, my birthday. I'm so grateful that you guys stepped up and decided to chase your passions alongside us. And, you know, one of the conversations we've been having now is, where do we go from here? Where is STXi going to go? What are we going to do with it? This is our second year, our second festival. We grew attendance by like 100 students, which is amazing. And fun fact about the STXi team, the majority of them, if not most of them, I think there's only like one person who isn't. All of these students are from one school, Idea Quest. However, we don't want to limit ourselves to one school. We think that everyone in the Valley should have an opportunity to do something that matters to them and to be alongside people who care about the things that they care about. So, this year, this summer, thanks to an amazing collaboration with Brown University, STXi will be hosting the South Texas Ideas Leadership Summit in June. And what this means is that we will be training all of our STXi members to learn how to tackle this festival, to make it better, to do new things and move beyond what we do now. And the other part of the summit is this is where we get to train you guys, anyone who wants to be a part of STXi. Whatever you consider your place to be in now, we're letting you know right now. We want to accept as many people as possible. Anyone who has a passion, anyone who has a drive to do something, if there's something that you care about, talk to us, let us know, because this summer, we're looking to bring in new people from new schools, new youth with new voices, to tell us what we need to bring to our festival, to work alongside us and work for the biggest youth nonprofit in Texas. Thank you.